Rise and shine, get up and go. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. Grab a cup of coffee or hot cocoa. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. Grab a cup of Java or espresso. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. Tina Valentina is the host, you see. She's as classy as she can be. Grab a cup of coffee or espresso with the Long Island Breakfast Club show. I say rise and shine, get up and go. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. Grab a cup of coffee or espresso with the Long Island Breakfast Club show. Another cup of Java or espresso. Another cup of coffee or hot cocoa. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is Thursday, my favorite day. It's not nice out. It's cold, so I'm freezing. I have all my layers on, as you see, sweater after sweater. But I'm in this great studio again. Love coming here every week. Bobby Lacera is the owner. You need anything, call me. I can connect you to him. You need a video. You need a little night out. You need to be on the show or have a show. Just let me know. I'll connect you to him. It's a beautiful studio. I have two very good people on the show today, and we're talking today a little bit about everything, but about the aging process, about people my age and up, about what happens when your parents get to that point where you don't know what to do, and also the technical world where I came from. I was in it for 20 years. I miss it, but I've changed. So today I was having Vicki Elner on, but she is unfortunately on the road and in traffic, can't make it. But I have my very dear friend, Jeff MALYNIAK.
There you go.
MALYNIAK.
You said it good.
A better choice. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And my other best friend that I met from losing my job, who helped me with my book, Bruce BARCHAK, technical consultant.
Yep.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
So I have two very sassy, good men here that can talk about business, people, places, and things. So welcome. Today is National Communicate with Your Kids Day. You have kids.
I have 3 of them.
When was the last time you sat down and had a real conversation with your kids without the phone?
So my son started his first day at an office yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So for the 2 weeks, he's been home training.
Oh.
So we were just trying to prepare him because in today's nutty world, kids don't go to the office.
Right.
Which is another show.
It's dumb.
So we've been trying to prepare him. You got to leave early. You have to do this. And my last conversation was the other night. Do you have your shirt dry cleaned? Is everything ready? And we had the checklist, and he was fine. He
Good
got up
for
early.
him.
Yeah, he got up early. He went to White Plains. He got there about 45 minutes early, avoided the traffic.
Well, if he's going to White Plains, he must have a good job to go all the way up there.
I'm just happy. Not
Good for him.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear it.
Yeah. So that was our last conversation. And then I call my daughter probably 4 times a week.
That's very nice.
She's in college at James Madison in nursing school.
Oh, that's going to be a great career.
So she cried every day the first year because how hard it is.
Yeah.
So now she's
better.
into it. So I'll say to her, "What did you do today?" And she'll tell me a funny story. I gave a guy an enema. I'm like, okay, check that box off. That's good.
Yeah, once in a lifetime, right?
Yeah.
But she'll be doing it a
She's
lot.
got to get her hands dirty, so they got to learn.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
And then my little guy is at Brockport College. He's playing soccer, and he's a freshman. So he's the best because now I've lived through the other 2. Now I'm living through him. So we see him a lot. We go up to a lot of the games, but he's just wide-eyed, like, hey, we're doing this week.
Oh,
we're
he's
doing this
excited
week.
then.
Yeah, it's fun.
So you have no children at home anymore?
No, Dylan's back home.
Oh, okay.
Dylan's
Right.
back home. Yeah.
Because you go through that little, quiet mode when the kids leave for college.
I haven't experienced that.
No, okay. Because you're a lot of fun, so you're probably always doing
I just
something.
want a joy. I was saying to Bruce today, my joy is in the morning when I have my coffee. No one's up yet.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
But I haven't had an empty house in 23 years.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
called the missing link, but you didn't have it, which is good.
Yeah.
It's just still okay.
It's good.
I went
Everybody's-
through it when my daughter left. Forget about it.
Yeah, everybody's
But-
healthy. Everybody's good.
Yeah.
And I do talk to my kids. I'm a little bit of an overbearing guy, but I
But
just
that's
want
a
to make
good
sure
thing.
they're good.
But see, what you do, not every parent does that. Come on.
Okay.
Talk to your daughter, 3 times a week. That's pretty good. I talk to my daughter twice a day, so I'm Italian. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so another thing today is National Chocolate Sponge Cake Day. Do you eat it?
I love sponge cake.
You do?
Yeah.
Ah, okay, so
Chocolate's even better, right?
so then you should go buy a sponge cake for your wife on the way home.
All right, after the show, Jeff, what do you think?
Yeah,
Okay.
and bring it to her.
Sponge cake run,
And it's National Communicate with Your Kids Day since you don't have children.
right?
Come in and get with your wife, which I'm sure you do all the time because your wife is lovely.
Thank you.
Say hi to Denise for me.
Yeah, I will. Thank you.
And you come from the technology world where I came from,
Right.
different world now. And we met because of my book, and you were helping the Breakfast Club and
Yes, yes.
came to a lot of things with us, good and bad.
Right. Over the years.
He's been
Yeah.
involved, so
He has photos. Huh?
yeah, he's actually a very good member. But the first thing we do on the show is we have wine, and my arthritis is here. It is. Was
Oh.
working out today, so we can have a little.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. We always love the white wine. Our friends over at Barefoot sometimes will send us a few samples, and we drink it all the time.
Very good. I like. We're off to a good start.
Yeah. So thank you both for coming. It's a
Mm.
quiet day here today. I don't know
You're
what it
welcome.
is.
Cheers.
Susan, thank you for coming back. Susan's been out for a few weeks, so we missed her, and she's finally back.
Very good.
Fill your glasses up.
So you are still doing, I assume, aging,
So
seniors, a better choice, elder care. Let's talk about what's changed since the pandemic and how things have moved up and people are not so afraid anymore.
so what I do for people who don't know what a better choice is I help families find assisted living communities. So I have partnered with literally hundreds of different assisted livings in the tri-state area. And I've actually, since my network has grown, and you got companies like Sunrise, they're in different states. So I'm able to help people out of state go to different facilities too. Now, my goal as an owner is always look at the building prior to recommending it. So I live in my car, and I think that's important because there's a lot of different agencies coming up that does the same thing I do. But you really want to find somebody who's walked the hallways,
Right.
seen the rooms, and give you a good layout of what you're getting into.
So you're like the inspector when you go.
Yes. Yeah. And it's important because, in this crazy world, that assisted living could be your mom and dad's last room.
Well, it's true.
So you really want to make sure there's a perfect fit.
Right. And that's basically, you've known Bruce for a long time. And when his mother was in the middle of a lot of things, you helped each other, right? You helped him a little bit, right?
Yeah, I've known Jeff for I guess over 10 years now,
Mm-hmm.
and I met him at that point in time in my mother's life, and he helped get us squared away with certain things,
Right.
and we struck up a
The friendship.
a
right?
friendship at that point in time.
Mhm.
And I've been doing a lot of computer work, accounting wise, and websites and
So you're like a
things
consultant now.
with Jeff over the years.
Right.
No, he's helped me with my website. He's got me hosted. He did some other things for me, marketing wise. So it's kind of helped me grow my business and keep me alive for
Yeah.
the last 15 years because owning a business is
It's not easy. And if you're a one-man band, which you are, and I am, and you are, it's not
yeah.
easy. You need your partners, you need your colleagues, you need everyone to help you.
100%.
So anyway, so you go to the assisted livings, you check it all out. You do a report. What do you do?
Oh, actually, I have a database, which Bruce helped me on, that we have everything in a database. So the way it works is if someone calls up and says, and I'll just use some Long Island cities. Like I live in Garden City, and my family lives in Smithtown or let's say Babylon. So mom lives in Garden City. So what I try to do is tell the caregivers, the family members, care, geographic, and budget. So let's look at what mom, why do you think she needs to go to assisted living? So the care level is the most important thing we have to look at. It could be dementia, it could be her walking issues, incontinence. There's 1,000 things as you age that are going to kind of make you start looking at assisted living.
Sure.
So then geographically, knowing those two locations, what's a good spot in the middle where friends and family can visit? Garden City is very far away, even though it's a great place to be.
They got to go every day.
Right. Or,
well, if you're Italian, you go every day.
there you go. But you're going to go, you want them to visit. You want to be close. You want to be within 10 minutes. And on Long Island, traffic could take an hour to go.
Yeah.
Whatever. But so, then they have to make recommendations. So if I make a recommendation based upon the care level, different buildings have different licenses. People don't really know that. So if you need to have a wheelchair, some buildings don't allow wheelchairs.
Oh, well, that's
so
crazy.
You would have to move yourself.
Right.
Other facilities, you can be escorted and helped.
Right.
So we have to really kind of peel the onion back and figure out which care level, which building would be best suited for them.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So that's the care level. Geographics, we know where the kids are.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ugly side of this whole thing is budget.
Yeah, because they're so expensive.
And since my last time I was here, I'm going to say that it's gone up about 40 to 50%.
Oh my God. So nowadays, just to go into a regular, not so fancy assisted living per month, it's got to be what, about $6,000, $7,000 a month?
I would say
for not a good, great one.
No, the average is about 75 to 8,000 now.
It wasn't that far
It's
wrong.
crazy. But no, see what's nice about working with companies like mine is there's diamonds in the roughs out there. There's small guys, privately owned assisted livings that we can look at.
Right, which is
Okay.
kind
Which
of
the
good,
care
right?
is still good.
Right.
It's clean. They have great, activities. So it may be off the beaten path from the traditional large buildings, but they're options.
Mm-hmm.
And some people say, you know what, my mom worked her whole life. She saved up this money. We'll move her into a fancy place.
A better place, right.
It's their options. But I'm presenting to them what I think is the best choice.
So do you usually present like 3, A, B, and C, and which is your favorite?
The max. Now, I don't ever say a favorite. I just say, here's the things that check the boxes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't like to really do more than 2.
2, okay.
Because what happens is they just get inundated.
It's too much.
Or the other family members get involved and they start tweaking and they go in here, let's try this one. Like, stop. Because a lot of times it just makes things more confusing.
Right.
Keep it simple. Right? What's the
It
expression?
makes sense. Yeah, I keep it simple now too. I say less is more.
Yeah. And again, you want them to have great food, good music, good friends, great care. It just, we're just downsizing.
Mm-hmm.
So the term assisted living, I always say, we're just going to go into an apartment. Because a lot of times you got to talk to
The old lady.
the resident,
Yeah.
the resident,
I have a way of saying
and
things.
it's a big nut. It's a big pill to swallow because you're going assisted living. I don't want to go there, and they're confused about the assisted living and the nursing homes.
Right.
There's a confusion there.
Right.
And I
because
think-
in
I
the
think you-
assisted living, they're like nightclubs. Some of them. I mean,
Some
they
of
give them attention. They give them great food. They give them performers. They give them little
Happy hour-
happy hours, and
Who wouldn't want to go there?
they dress to the nines. These
Yes.
people that live there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all levels. There's a place. I always say there's a place for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So even though this place may not have fountains and chandeliers, you would have great care.
And that's the thing. When you're that sick, the care is the most important.
It should always be the most important.
But if you have a woman that is like a party lady, she's going to want the other because she want to have fun.
So I had a story years ago. I placed somebody at the atria,
Which I worked for 6 days.
six whole
6
days.
days.
What happened?
It was so big. So much walking. You had to do the movie. You had to do the Shalom Shalom on Friday. You had to do covering the bread. You had to do knitting. Every room was on another floor. I couldn't do it. It's too much work.
Yeah.
Too much physical work. I could have done it, and I left on a crutches. So that lasted 6 days, but it was a nice place.
Well, and they have so many different options too. So
Yeah.
some of the atrias are not as big as the others. But again, that was, you
Well,
didn't know that at the building you went to.
They thought I was a resident, the people, because I dressed nice like they did. but it was an experience. It's in my book, chapter 10.
So the reason I picked this facility, the mother was an avid card player.
Oh, they play a lot of cards there.
They play competitive cards, which
Mhm.
I didn't know. So I don't know some of the card names, but she wanted what's the most important thing? Well, she's social and she wants to play cards. I'm like, I've never heard that. But that they actually would take their van and go to different communities.
I believe that.
To play cards.
And then there's that other thing they play. What's it called?
Mahjong?
Mahjong.
Mahjong.
Exactly.
bingo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And bingo.
Every place has a nice bingo area. That's fun. But that was the reason we picked her. And it worked out great. She lived there for about 3 to 4 years.
Hmm.
Everything worked out. The family was very happy.
And then as far as when they have to move, do you help them with that too?
Well, I always preference age and place. So some people stay at home like your mom did.
Right.
Right. And that's perfectly fine, because if you have the support to do
In
it,
the house, right.
it's a lot of work, but that's an option. At the assisted livings, I always try to age in place. So I pick a building where they can. It all depends how they're going into the building.
Right.
If they have memory issues or dementia, or if they just can't walk and they're going to be eventually in a wheelchair, I have to pick the buildings that
Where they
have
can
the
go
enhanced
forward
license.
to the second part.
Right.
Right. Mhm.
And in these buildings, people don't realize this. The licensing is almost as good as a nursing home.
Really?
So again, there's certain things that a nursing home does that assisted living won't, but care-wise, incontinence, showering, bathing, injections, wheelchairs.
And that's unbelievable.
That's like 80% of the problem that
Right.
could be fixed right there. So, picking the right facilities and making it easier for my customers, the kids, the caregivers, that's my job. So, but there's a place for everything.
Well, I'm sure
And
you
there's-
get a rapport with the family.
Oh,
Once
yeah.
you start showing them all these places, and do you show 2 places in one day, or?
Oh, absolutely.
You
I've
do.
actually gone. I've actually picked the resident up in the rehab center, physically sometimes picking them up and
Oh
putting them
my
in my
goodness!
car.
You really go all out.
Well, you got to help people, right?
Well, that's true, and that probably when the family sees you
Or
doing
there's-
that, and you
that
can meet the
person-
kids at
that
the
person didn't have a
place.
family,
Oh,
so it was even more important.
well, the
to-
ones without the family worry me because they don't sometimes have a clue as to what to do.
It's like life of the cracks. But again, if the social worker at the rehab facilities call me, and that's how I get most of my referrals,
Right.
I'm able to help. I would say 97% of the people I can help.
That's great. Well, you
You know.
sound like you do a great job.
Well, we
So,
try.
when was your last placement?
I just actually had one in a place called Holiday. It's owned by the Atria, but it's in Connecticut. They moved
Really?
in last week. They moved in the week of Thanksgiving. So the situation was the gentleman's wife passed away the week before. They lived in Florida. It was a
Yeah, from all over
crazy
different areas, right?
scenario. They got to sell the condo. They got to get mom and dad up here. Mom passed away. Dad's living at the sister's house, but he wants to be close to the brother who lives in Connecticut.
A lot of coordinating.
So I figured, and money was an issue. Financially, they can't afford,
Which is partly the problem with a lot of people.
and Holiday was fantastic. It's very, very reasonable. They gave him a veteran's discount, so it's even more reasonable. It was under $4,000.
Yeah.
So did you know they had
to have his
veterans?
own room.
I didn't know
You know
that.
veterans have a discount?
No, I didn't know.
I didn't either.
Yeah, they do a lot. They do police too. They give you a
That's
little bit of a
nice.
discount as a thank you.
Good.
Yeah.
And the veterans benefits, we can talk about that too. If you are a veteran and you served during war,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you could be in Alaska during Korea. Doesn't mean you had to shoot a gun. You just have to be serving during that time.
Mm-hmm.
You would get a veterans, it's called aid and attendance. The government, if you need the money, will be able to give you $1,800 a month.
Towards
as a
your
stipend.
monthly?
Yes,
How many
For care.
veterans know that? I don't think they know it.
but it gets better. Let's
Jeez, we
say,
got to do a show about that.
let's
Yeah,
say the
that'd be
spouse, the gentleman who served, or the female, the person who served in the military passed away, but they were still married. Their spouse also is entitled.
I have to connect you to the military association here on Long
So I
Island.
do the VA. I help my families. I go
Wow.
to the VA. One of my first questions was your mom or dad a veteran? And if they were, have you filled out this information? Because it's all about getting the most
That's
you
terrific.
can get.
I never knew about that. And I consider myself well read and know.
That's why I'm here to help.
Wow, that is great. And you didn't know about it either.
No, I didn't know.
Jeez.
Aid in attendance. It's on the veterans. Every VA facility have social workers. They can give you the paperwork to get the aid in attendance.
That's a good way for you to get some new clients. Do you know?
Do you know?
Are you a veteran? Did you know that the aid and attendance form
But
will
again,
help you
but-
get placed?
But it's also a formula. So they're not. If you have $1 million, they're not going to give the gentleman with it.
No, of course
But
not.
if you are in need
Of course,
it's
yeah.
there to help those people. So there's a formula, but you always have to ask.
Well, if you don't ask, you don't know.
Yeah,
And if
you
you
have to
don't ask, you don't get. So that's the
And I
bottom
think
line.
it's important that all these seniors talk to an attorney,
Definitely.
get your stuff in order, protect yourself, because you could talk about situations with reverse mortgages and all that stuff.
Yeah. So some people will say, let me get a reverse mortgage. My husband wanted me to do it, but we didn't. But I wanted him to put the house in trust. We didn't. So unfortunately, when he got sick, my house went bye-bye because he had to go into a facility.
Yeah.
They take your house.
Right.
So, but I don't know much about the reverse mortgage. So I remember him doing it, and I said, I'm not doing it. So let's talk about that.
I mean, if you don't prepare, then you wind up in a situation that happened to you. But,
Right.
There's products out there where you could get a reverse mortgage through some of the major financial insurance companies and financial institutions. You'll take the equity out of your house, and you can stay in your house as long as you're alive or your spouse is still alive in the house. But on their passing, you have a certain amount of time to repay the loan. So
Okay.
with the sale of the house.
So let's say you're at the point now where, they're not giving you any money anymore. What does that mean? Why? They usually give you money every month, right?
Yeah, well, actually, you get a lump sum. Let's say it's $100,000 for
Right.
argument's sake, and then you can use that money for the care of the person.
Okay.
But when they pass away, you have to sell that asset, the house, and
And what's left you get, and they get what you took.
But wait a second, you have to sell you don't have, if you let's say you have a life insurance policy and they get $100,000 at their passing.
Right. You don't have to,
You
right.
could repay it.
You don't have to sell a house or
Right.
anything like that, but you just have to repay the loan at that point in time.
Right.
But I mean, if you
But
had
it's
the
preparation,
money,
like you said, it's
Right.
all preparation.
but if you had the money ahead of time, you wouldn't be doing a reverse mortgage. So it's usually a
Right.
situation where people don't have any assets left. And the only
Right.
asset is their
Is that
main resident. So you can get that money, the equity out of that house.
so? Really, down the line, when you sell your house, is when you get freed of all this nonsense that you took on if you're not happy in the end.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to do it, and I'm glad I didn't do it. But I know a lot of people that have done it that aren't too happy. Is that normal?
I'm going to shoot myself in the foot, but I'm not a fan of that program.
Mhm,
I think it was developed by mortgage people for mortgage people.
mhm.
I think there's other ways you could probably,
Get around it.
Get
But
around
if you're
it or
already
help.
into it,
but even
how do you
again,
get out of
you
it?
can
You
can
can't
divorce,
unless you have money.
but if your spouse is really, really sick, the government has programs you can go on Medicaid, divorce.
Right, Medicaid.
I mean, again, it's not ideally what you want, but there's options that you
Right.
can save your house.
But it's all the preparation, though,
Yeah.
right? If
talking to a
you don't
lawyer.
do it early enough, then there's look back periods and so on and
Right.
so
Well,
forth. So
right.
you may be in the same boat at the end of the day, with Medicaid or whatever, using the assets from
Exactly.
the house.
So, example, somebody tomorrow, this couple, the husband falls off the roof and he needs paraplegic and he needs to go into a center forever. Well, she didn't put her house in trust yet. So what happens? They sometimes take the house and sometimes there. So then he stays home and you get what's called a community service.
Community
Medicaid.
Community
Medicaid.
Medicaid. Yeah.
And then you have to disassociate yourself from your husband so you don't have to pay part of his stuff, correct?
In theory, yeah.
Yeah.
Simple dumbing down. yeah.
And unfortunately, seniors are not educated enough.
No, that's again the most important thing is to kind of reach out to someone who's an elder care
Right.
attorney who's an
Right.
expert. Again, that's going to cost you a
Attorneys.
couple
And that
bucks
costs
too.
right. And let's say I need to go on Medicaid tomorrow. They charge you $5,000, attorneys, to put you on Medicaid. Am I right? Sorta.
I don't really know.
Yes, they
Could
do.
be.
They do.
Even
I
to
know-
establish a trust,
Right, it
could
costs
cost you
$5,000,
$5,000,
yeah.
$6,000.
Good ones, and then you go to the cheaper ones, and they're less.
Yeah. So I don't know much. And my expertise is getting you the right community.
So now, do you know anything about co-ops? Putting a co-op in trust?
No, that's a Bruce question.
That's,
Well, Bruce, come on now, you're holding out on me here.
I'm not sure, but I would
Yeah.
assume that
It's the same, right?
it's an
In
asset,
theory, it'd
right?
be the same.
In theory, it's an asset.
Yeah.
So, house co-op.
It's the same. So
Condos, different story, I believe, right?
right. So I myself am sitting here telling you today, after everything I went through, that I now have a co-op, but I have to put it in trust because I didn't yet. Because the same thing can happen to me, my daughter, for me.
Right.
So we got to do this
Protect
because
yourself.
we're getting older. Unfortunately, ageism is tough. And if you have a daughter, great. If you have a son, but if you don't, you need to speak to people like these people that I have on my show today, because they can guide you. And at least you're not going to get the big bad boot.
It happens.
And, it's important for people to stay educated. And, that's basically what we're talking about here tonight. Make sure that you have your radar on talking to other people, because there are so many seniors out there that don't know,
Yes. It's a good feeling when you educate a family, like, oh, I didn't know he was eligible for my mom. My dad died 20 years ago, and he was a veteran. And my mom's been remarried, and that gentleman passed away. But the first marriage qualified her for aid and attendance.
Right, that's another thing. Yeah. People that
so
are
it's-
married the second time around, if the first husband makes more, don't marry the second husband. Just stay single and you get the more of the money, right?
I don't know
For
about that
Social
either.
Security. Yeah.
The IRS.
Yeah,
I
Social
don't
Security.
know about that. Yeah.
Unless,
So
if
it gets
it's
convoluted and very
yes.
complicated. So,
Yeah.
you need services to assist you in this whole
Exactly.
process.
There's experts in certain,
Fields.
fields that you have to check the boxes and talk.
And the funny thing is most women that were married for 10 years know this because they find out, if you're married to a man for 10 years, don't get remarried if he has a great pension, because then you're going to lose it.
I think women know more about this than men do. That's what I think.
Well, if you want, I got a letter last year. I was married before, and the IRS, well, actually Social Security, said they were asking me, do you want to collect on your ex, and he's still alive and he remarried, or would you prefer to collect on your existing husband? Well, my husband got the mail that day, and he was living.
Yeah. So go figure,
That area I don't know.
So on the technical side, I know you
Yes.
did a lot of work with helping a lot of different people set up their computers, their websites, all that. And you were doing it 24/7. Now you do it here and there because you're a consultant. Do you miss that rush in the office and all that BS you got to put together in a corporate world?
Well, in my early career, I worked for major corporations, and that was when I first started out. But technology is so changing so rapidly that you're always under the gun
Yeah.
to try to stay current with everything.
Right.
Especially now and Jeff could tell you in how technology, even with the assisted livings, has radically changed since we started 10 years ago.
Exactly. Yeah.
The funny story I always tell people was when I was working in IT, and that's where I met Bruce, I was selling disk storage
Mhm.
to a very large bank, and they wanted a terabyte. So a terabyte would
That was,
fill
I
up,
don't even remember that word.
right, a terabyte would fill up a rack 6 feet tall and weigh about 1,000 pounds, and the disk would go in. And now you're getting a memory stick
That's big.
for
As big as that.
$49.95.
Right.
And when my cost was $100,000 back then.
It's
Wow.
a sell back then, wasn't it?
And it was, yeah, anybody swallowing a pill was $100,000,
Right.
but we didn't have the technology.
Things they have now. Now, what about IA? Is that what it's called?
AI.
AI. I always get it wrong.
Could be I.
Okay. AI. I mean, what does this world come to? I mean, it's a great help. What do you think of AI?
I don't know too much about it. It's pretty recent.
You just put your name in and they tell you everything about yourself. They make you a nice bio that you didn't even have to write.
You write a great letter.
And a
You create a
resume.
great paper,
A resume.
resume.
Could
yeah.
be true, could not be true.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I can't
knows?
believe how much they're doing.
Um,
I think it's good, but I also believe in the face to face.
and that's why I would go back to my son. I think the importance that all these kids go back to work and go back and socialize.
Exactly.
They're all awkward, and I say to my son, like, make sure you say your name and shake your hand and look him in the eyes. Like, you have to remind him. 20 years ago, we didn't have to remind us. That's just the way it was.
Right. And it's important for networking. Yes, we go to all these networking events, which, I used to go to everything. I go to less now because, it's expensive and it's also, tiring. But this is like a form of networking. When we have more guests, shit happens right here on the table. Things happen, So to me, this is a form of helping people with their business, especially small to medium businesses.
No, 100%.
Because then you walk away with your, photo shoot and your video, and you can do whatever
absolutely.
you want with it.
That's just great.
And I attach this to my website.
Exactly. And you've got to be telling everyone in Texas now, tonight, go to Strong Island TV and look for you.
I have to get on my
You gotta-
iPhone
Yes,
and
you got to tell them.
get everything going.
7
I'm just coming
PM.
back for more wine. This was
Yeah.
And on Tuesdays.
Tuesday morning,
Why
11
isn't
a.m.
Sue should be over here. It's
She
the
doesn't
voice from
want
the
to.
voice from the
Susan is
back.
great. She does all the bit behind the scenes, but she doesn't like.
Behind.
She only came on the show once because she had no choice because nobody came that day. It was a snowstorm. And I said, you don't really have a choice. You have to sit here. And she did. But she did okay. But she likes to be behind the
All
scenes.
right.
She usually has the decor like you can't believe. So Christmas will be decorated. But because we're in a more modern studio, we don't do what we used to. She used to come in with 10 shopping bags every time we had to decorate.
Well, I had 21 tables.
Yeah.
Yes.
That I had to
That was a big
decorate.
Right.
room. That was a big room.
We used to
Yeah.
have a lot of
Yeah,
parties.
That was a big one.
But the party's
I like
been
this
great. We had a
better.
good time, but this is just an easier way to do business,
Yes.
But we are having a party on December 22nd. What is it? Here it is.
23rd.
23rd.
7 p.m.
It's no, it's 2:00 in the studio, 7:00
on the
on
show.
social media.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So everybody's welcome to come. Everyone knows that we do some nice things. We have light snacks, and we try to keep this place super clean because, as you can see, there's not a speck of dust
Yeah,
in
it's
it.
very nice.
And we give away something, and we all kind of just really have a good time.
Good.
Last week we had about 7 people here for Thanksgiving, and it was great. And we now have a cartoonist who draws us all the way from Tennessee, and she draws us from her home.
Oh,
Her name is she's called the residential artist. She works for Fox.
Very nice.
Susan and I became friends with her when she visited once, and ever since that she's been working with
Very
us.
fancy.
It is. It's really fun. And who knew that, all these things would change. And every time, in life, I'm sure when you make a change, it's the best thing you could ever do.
oh, yeah.
Are you enjoying your retirement, as they call it? You're working, but you're retired.
Yeah, I'm retired, but I'm a little bored though. I have to admit.
You're bored.
I'm a little bored.
Okay, well, we got to get you going on a project then.
I'm open.
I know you
yeah,
always
I'm
say you
open for
would.
it.
I know
Yeah.
that. I know
That's
that.
great.
I had a board that I was going to give him on the corner.
Yeah.
He didn't want it. He wasn't that bored.
Oh God. Well, you haven't had a chance to get bored
I'm.
because you're always doing so many different things, and you have kids in college. That's a big,
Yeah.
undertaking.
Sure.
That's a
And
lot.
you talk to them all the time, so that's another good thing. Most,
Well, you know what it
kids-
is? It's from the car.
Yeah.
So it's so convenient, just to. What are you doing? You studying?
So let's talk about the car because I know what your car must look like in the trunk. Are you organized, or is all your stuff thrown all over the
I
car?
just bought a new car, so my old car not so organized, but this one I downsized. I got everything in one little Tupperware, brochures.
Great. So
business
you got
cards.
organized.
Everything is so much better than it was.
Well, Bruce, you know about my car, how it was. You could say
I
I'm not
remember
embarrassed.
your car from years ago. It was a rolling office.
Yes. Mhm.
You had everything in there.
And everybody had to help
I'm
put everything
surprised you
away.
could see the mirror.
But since then, I have a very nice lease. It's expensive, but I love the car. And Patrick, who is my dear friend, he organized the back of the car.
There you go.
So now nobody can make fun of my car anymore because it's really quite organized. So that's a key point when you're in business, correct?
Well, I always had to put, like, again, when I pick people up, I have to put a wheelchair or walker.
Yeah, well,
So
that's
I always had to make sure there was room. So
yeah.
but
So you have your own wheelchairs that you bought just for this,
no.
or you borrow them from
When-
assisted livings?
if they're in a wheelchair, I was able to help them, but
Uh-huh.
then we pack it in the car and get it out. But no, it's you have to. Everybody has to organize. It's spring cleaning.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
And my car definitely needed spring cleaning.
yeah. But my car is now, it's great. And I probably downsized again because I went from a big van first when I got the car to a nicer size. Now I think because I don't have all that much baggage in the car anymore.
Right.
I can go to like a little backup wagon or something.
Yeah.
But it was great getting my first new car because I always bought used cars. It was part of whatever the mentality, But
I'm the same way.
yeah, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, kids in college.
Yeah, well, yeah. And my family now moved to Maryland.
Oh, that's great.
My daughters and my grandchildren. So I miss them terribly. But we're going for Christmas for a few days. So we're just getting that settled. And, you got to check the hotel where it is. And then the last time we went, they said to us, you stayed too far away. Well, why didn't you tell us? You should have told them to change it.
Those kids.
Because they know everything there, but we don't, But it'll be nice to be away for
Good.
Christmas in Maryland where everybody walks and talks very slow. And everybody talks to you no matter where you go.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah. So when I ever go to the stores with my daughter, she goes, who are you talking to? You don't know a soul here. I'm like, well, people are friendly here, But her regret is one thing. Food stores in Maryland takes you 2 hours to food shop because nobody stops talking to you. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
What about restaurants?
Oh.
Ordering.
Yeah, the restaurants, they're slow. Yeah, very slow. But talk about restaurants. What's your favorite?
Well, I like, what type of cuisine?
Well, anything. Only
Chinese, Italian.
Italian, yeah, Italian.
Well, I do like Salvatore's in Elmont.
Yes, we
on
know
Beecham Avenue.
Vito very well.
Yeah, Salvatore's is great. They give you a ton of food.
Yes, and you get free wine. Free wine at
I didn't get the
Salvatore's.
free wine last
Well,
time.
and you get free Zeppelis.
Oh yeah, I get the
Those
yeah, I get
cakes that
at
are
the
so
end.
filling at the end.
Yeah.
And him and his wife are wonderful. She just got an award for being a power woman.
Oh,
Yeah, she did.
yeah.
Very proud of her. All right, so you like Salvatore. So what's your favorite Italian restaurant? I'm sure you have one.
Menino's.
Oh, that's over in Syosset. No, Northport. Somewhere over there in
Yeah.
Suffolk.
Yeah, Comac
Yeah, we
area.
went once. It was very good.
They're good.
Great meatballs there.
Everything's good.
Yeah.
No free wine though. I know. free
No.
food.
Well, Salvatore's you
You
get
have to
free
go to
wine.
Salvatore's.
I gotta go to Salvatore.
Yeah, and in the summer they have the outdoor thing, which is really nice.
It's sad about Stella's.
Stella's
Oh, yeah.
restaurant is closing.
On
December-
Florham Park,
yeah,
on
December
Jericho
30th.
It's
Turnpike.
like that was a very old.
Yes, but it was
Yes.
great. And
I
I
know,
went.
I know that some of the assisted livings go there.
Yeah,
They do lunches there.
I went to school with the owner of
Yeah.
Stella's, the
That's
daughter. Yeah.
Yeah,
hmm
that's fun.
So things change, but also there's a lot of new things opening up.
Which is
and
good because Long Island needs to
keep up with the changes, right?
They need businesses. They need to have all the young kids working. And
Yeah. One of the things when the restaurants get bigger and better, they forget about the seniors. That too. The seniors can only afford so much. So when they elevate up, then they lose those seniors. And
well, again, like for example, the assisted livings, they'll do a lunch special.
yes,
So they'll have them sign up for the day, and it's still $20 or $30. But
Right.
it's very reasonable.
and it's very good.
Yeah, they're going to get 3 or 4 courses. They're going to get to a restaurant, and they all get on the bus. They all get dressed up. So those are the nice little.
Yeah, and those
Thanks.
men that drive those little cars, they're adorable, right?
Oh, the minivans.
Yeah, and the women too, right?
Yes.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of women that do it too. I know that. But assisted livings are nice places to work, depending on the job.
You
gotta
could be last.
You have to be a people person.
Yeah, well, I was, but I just
And,
couldn't.
and
run
it's
around
definitely
like that.
it's you're not sitting down.
Not at all. And every room is in a totally different part of where
Yeah.
you're supposed to do these things and help them. So, but it was fun while I was there. And I did, out of all of them, HVR, I think is the one in Great Neck is the White House. Roslyn, not
No,
it's called
yeah, Roslyn is.
the Roslyn
That
is
was
the
on
White House.
That was on Bill Murray's St. Vincent.
Yeah.
Yeah, St. Vincent.
Oh,
That
the
was-
movie.
that was the
That's
movie.
where they filmed that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Beautiful building.
mm,
That is probably their flagship.
it is, and it's gorgeous. I mean, God, beautiful. But when you visit or you work there, you have to walk. You can't park where they park, so you have to walk a long way to get into the building.
No, I'm spoiled. So,
Well, you must have a card that says
well, I'm bringing up customers, so they say,
Yes,
anywhere
right.
you want to go, Jeff.
VIP.
just whatever
yeah.
you want to do.
Anywhere you want to go, bring
Right.
them here.
That's true. So, do you play tennis?
No.
No. Do you play tennis? Yes.
No, but I'm not tennis, but
Yeah.
I'm playing pickleball.
Pickleball.
That's
Be
a new-
careful. They say there's a disease that comes with that now.
What kind of disease?
It's something with your shoulders and your back or
Disease?
something. Yeah,
Oh.
like you get hurt
Oh,
from the way you
I didn't
move.
know
on
that.
pickleball. Well,
Yeah,
check
I
it
gotta be
out.
careful.
Yeah, but that's good. The one in West Hempstead, or
Well, you
What
can
is
play
it?
at the park or whatever.
Well, that's good. So you got
There's
into
an
that.
indoor one in West Hempstead also.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. But didn't you play some kind of sport?
Racquetball. Weren't you racquetball?
I play golf and
Yeah,
racquetball.
he's
It's
out there.
A lot of different
You
things.
do a lot of the fun
But now
stuff.
the big thing is pickleball.
Yeah, it is.
All
It's-
over the United
It's
States.
huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. So you want to open a pickleball place, you'll make a lot of money.
Yeah, maybe 10 years ago. That was the ground floor. Right?
Yeah, right. For
Yeah.
sure.
I think they are opening indoor pickleball places.
Yeah, there's a few around. Yeah.
Yeah.
West Hempstead, there's one.
Yeah, there's one. I think it's in the Jewish neighborhood, right?
Yeah, up by the railroad.
Yeah,
there, right?
yeah. Mm-hmm. But and a lot of the libraries are getting fixed up again. They're redoing them. You know, regular libraries, they're making them nicer and
That's
bigger
good.
and all that. Yeah.
Well, I was at the Elmont Library a few weeks back, and they were having a show. They have a theater attached to it,
Yes. Mhm.
and they were having a show. And I noticed that the Bristol bus was outside, so
Taking them.
they were taking them to the show for the afternoon, which
That's
I
nice.
thought was great.
Yeah, well, they have those social directors. In
Well,
all the
I think
Bristols.
every day they plan an event.
Yeah.
So when you
Mhm.
walk in, you have a calendar as big as the TV behind us, and it's the event of the day. You know, it says 8 o'clock stretching, 9 o'clock breakfast, 10 o'clock. You know,
So it's not just bingo anymore.
not just
No.
bingo anymore.
They do a lot. Now, do
and
you
and at the
know?
Bristol, by the way, there's putting greens,
Yeah.
Really?
swimming pools.
Wow.
And did you know
So-
if you're
sign
in
me
the
up.
yeah, if you're in the what I'm in this acting thing now, if you join the union, the IMDb,
Mhm.
union, there's only all the people that are in that union go to one assisted living, the actors and actresses, and it's supposed to be fabulous. Do you know about that?
No.
I just found out about it.
Well,
I don't know what the name of it is, but it's supposedly only
Motion
people
picture.
Yeah, it's a
New
motion
Jersey.
picture assisted living for people that are in, actors and actresses, and the assisted living is supposed to be a great place to go.
I don't know. They find the name out. I'm curious.
Susan,
It's
we'll get to find that
beautiful
out.
in
Yeah.
New Jersey.
Well, Jersey actually has
Just
the
look
most
up
assisted
all my
livings
ones.
than
I
any
mean-
state in the country.
Oh, really? New Jersey.
We'll have to find out for you.
Jersey
for
film and
geographic
motion
and
picture.
density.
So, Bobby, I think we have a few little sheets I want to show. We got Bobby up there to talk about our friends that we're supporting always. So, do we have what do we have up there, Bobby? Do we have a sheet? There we go. Nick's Holiday Lights. This happens to be my nephew, and he started out small. Now he comes to your house, decorates it, takes the lights off, takes them back, puts them in storage, and comes back next year.
And he knows how to put them on and off.
And he's
you don't have to
very-
get on the roof.
He's very good.
Love
So if anybody's interested, Nick's Holidays Lights, 967-9811, and he's adorable. He's a really nice man. And then we have our favorite, Eddie Sessa, which we're probably going tonight. Every Thursday and Friday night, Eddie sings at the Polo Lounge in Westbury. And he's fabulous. He just had a big show. And then we have Bob D'Amato, who is a great singer. He's going to be at the Elks Lodge for New Year's Eve, and he is a Bobby Darin singer, wonderful. And then we have the Jingle Bell Ball Dance Party, which is on Windows on the Lake with Anthony and Ellen Pellegrino, and they throw a great party. It's December 19th, and it's too far for us to go after the show because it's all the way about 60 minutes away.
Lake Ronkonkoma.
Yeah, but they're nice people. If you ever want to go there, you tell them the show sent you, and DJ Tommy Nappy will be there. And our last show of the year is December 23rd here, and we're having a party. So if you want to come, be here at 2:30, 2:45. bring a snack, and have some fun. Because that show, everybody gets up. It doesn't matter how many people are here. We make it happen. And we have a little raffle that day too. And that's what we have going on this month. It's a little quiet, but I call it the calm before the storm. And I noticed just on the weekend, last weekend, all the wackos were out on the road. Did you see that? I mean, you go out on a Friday, Saturday morning and forget it. It's crazy. Traffic.
I was in Connecticut on Sunday, and it took us a long time to
Did
get
you?
home. Yeah,
Mm.
traffic everywhere, trying to get over the bridges, but
Mhm.
it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, that's it. So you went to visit someone?
Yeah, the in-laws in
Nice.
Connecticut.
Oh,
yeah.
that's nice.
Thanksgiving in Connecticut.
It's
Should be
pretty
a
though.
movie, right?
Yeah, but it is. We went last year for Christmas, and it was nice. So we're just hoping that there's no snow to go to Maryland this
There's
year.
snow this morning.
I know. I heard.
Yeah, and last night at the tree lighting there was
Yeah.
snow.
Yes, and
You
the
see
tree
that?
lighting. Of course, I watched it because my mom used to call the whole family the night of the tree lighting. And last night we sent a family tree all over to everyone on Facebook, not Facebook, on the phone, and everybody was making the comments my mother would always say. So it's kind of nice.
Nice.
And we all watched it from different houses.
Yeah, that's
It's
nice.
very hard to get all together like we
Mm.
used to. You know.
I don't think it is. I think we have more excuses.
Well, it's true. You're right.
You gotta
People
get up
just
and-
don't make it happen.
You got to do it.
That's very true.
You got to do
So
it.
now when somebody has an interest in contacting you, how do they, what do you have, a website? What is it?
I have a website. So it's ABC, like the alphabet, abceldercare.net.
Mhm.
And there's an 800 number on it.
Which is
It's right here.
877 Elder
11.
11.
That's it.
And do you, if anybody wants to reach you, do they go to Facebook? How would you
You
like?
can go to Facebook, or you can go through Jeff, and
Go through
he
Jeff.
Would, he would
Okay.
contact me.
So it's the same exact number.
I do want to say this, though. My services are absolutely free.
Free.
It's a free
There's
service.
no free lunch.
It's a free service.
Wow. That's
So,
unbelievable.
We get rewarded by the communities. We have a contract.
So you get paid through the assisted living.
But again, working as your elder advisor for the family, my services are free.
That's great. Jeez.
So, and I will pick up, tour, whatever you need me to do.
Yeah, he really comes in. What kind of car do you have? Maybe I want a tour.
We'll just go for a ride.
Oh, that sounds good. Oh God.
I'll have to call them soon.
Yeah. Well, we all worry about like what are we going to do when? You
Well,
know?
one of the hardest things is to have the conversation. We talked about this earlier.
Mhm.
You know, when is it time? I had a sad story last week. I had potential move-in, literally building picked out, room picked out. The father died on Wednesday. The mother died on Friday.
Oh, jeez.
But they wouldn't listen to us the month before, 2 months before,
Mhm.
about, he was sick. He had
Mhm.
cancer. But the mom is a separate issue. But it's just very sad because you have to, at one point, the kids are right. You got to listen to your
Yeah,
kids.
but sometimes the kids have to say
Mhm.
to the parent, it's not your decision anymore. But it's hard to do.
It is. That's the toughest conversation you'll
No,
have.
absolutely.
Because I know we did it to my parents when we made them sell their house and move into a small apartment, and they were not happy. Oh my God. But any kind of move, whether it's a job, living, death, sickness, change is the most hardest thing for people.
But then again, we just talked about it. You have to get over and see them. You have to visit them. You have to make them
Right. You got to
comfortable.
do,
You
you have
if
to
you're
do
gonna
the deeds.
Yeah, if you're going to move, downsize you got to be geographically close.
Mhm,
You want friends and family to visit
mhm.
because not
What
just assisted.
assisted living. If someone has dementia, like
They have-
not that bad yet, can they take them in assisted living or?
Yeah. So what happens is there's an evaluation prior to move-in. It's called an assessment. So the nurse would come, or you would go to the facility, the building, and meet with them.
Mhm.
And they want to make sure that they can check all the boxes of care that person needs.
Mhm.
So a lot of facilities have people a little confused, and they live in the assisted living side,
Mhm.
not the secure side.
Mhm.
So yes, it's very common.
And then what they do is when they get to that point, they move them to the other side.
Right. So it's not a drastic change. You're just changing rooms. But one thing I'll tell everybody that they have to do is when they move into these facilities, make the room their home. Like bring the stuff from
Make
the
it
house.
pretty, right?
Bring
Mhm.
the stuff that they're used to, their comfortable chair, even though it might be ripped to shreds, but if it's comfortable, their comforter, pillows, everything. So when they walk in, they feel that they're home. When we moved my mom in, you couldn't tell the difference between her living room
Wow.
and her living room. We had the pictures the same way.
That's
We had
really
the
nice.
little knobs on the dressers the same.
That's really
Everything was the
nice.
same. And she
Yeah.
was confused.
Well, it takes time to get used to it. They say the most stressful thing in life is losing your job and moving. Those are the two most stressful things, which I basically had them all, both already. So, and you've had
Well, that's
not
over.
moving. You changed jobs,
Yeah.
and you've been in the same
I've started my
business.
business and I've changed jobs multiple times.
Yeah.
It's
So if anybody's changed jobs or needs any kind of positivity, you got to buy my book right there. Pick that up. This book will help you get through the holidays. It'll make you laugh from fire to freedom. There's true stories in here. 75 women who changed. I have 2 men because men don't like to talk. And they're true stories, and every woman in this book wrote their own book. So we even help you publish a book. When you publish a book, your business grows because you become an expert. And the word author next to your name makes you an expert. And then you get paid to speak. So this is a great idea for people that are retiring, home, maybe a little bored, need to do something in your life. Or if you don't want to write a book, go and try out for an acting career and be in the audience to be a villain. All you're doing is sitting there, having a glass of wine at a bar, anything like that. They buy you lunch and you go home. So that's two things. Yeah, I'm gonna have him come the next time we do it. Yeah, I'm going to. I've been trying to get him.
be a stunt double for something.
Yeah. And that's really, the Fontanas keeps going. It's going to be coming out soon. We're going to have a party where you can all see all of the great stories. And now that my husband died in the Fontanas, I'm going to be dating. And that's in the next one. So I just found this out. So this should be interesting. And I said, well, there's no kissing going to happen then. I have a boyfriend now. You got to go to the cheeks. But anyway, that's really everything.
I'm tuning in and I'm going to watch that.
I know you will. Anybody that wants to see clips, go to YouTube, The Fontanas. And you want to see the show, go to YouTube, The Long Island Breakfast Club Show. And if you want to see me on Facebook, hang out a little because they shut me down, but I will be back. So just try to reach me on the phone or on my email, vjanik@appsonline.net or valentinajanik.com, and you'll find me. But Facebook, I will be back. And that's really last question of the day. I'm going to give it to you.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Tell me something rusty.
Rusty.
Think of something rusty. You don't like that one? Yeah, I'll give you another one.
Tire iron.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a horseshoe.
Something that you can never unsee. That's another one. I don't like that. Something you shouldn't take a selfie with. That's a good one.
Your girlfriend?
Yeah. What else? How about a banana? You shouldn't take a selfie with a banana. That doesn't send a very good message. That you should never be on a pizza topping. Something you should never.
Pineapple.
Yes.
Pineapple. But they make
right?
pineapple
Well,
pizza
that's a
now.
mistake.
Something that you love.
Oh, I love my wife.
There you go. That's a
Right?
great husband.
You love your friends.
Yeah, he loves his wife. Something at the zoo.
Elephants.
Elephants. And the
Monkeys.
elephants remember everything. And something that makes you feel sick. Agita.
Traffic.
Traffic. That's a good one. That is a good one. Well, I think we got through everything. I said, let's see, one more. We got like 45 seconds left. Something that's in a treehouse. Here's a good one. Something smelly.
Here.
How about something smelly?
Oh.
Squirrels.
Yeah.
Garlic pizza.
Garlic pizza. If you don't like garlic, really.
Kids' sneakers.
And something big. That could be a woman. It could be a man. It could be a piece of equipment.
Something big.
But that is the last question. Quick. Something big.
Elephant.
Elephant. And that, my
In the
friends, is the show.
Thank you very much.
There you go. Throw the ball. The
Where's
show
the bell?
is done.
The bell.